Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships, where today I'm featuring the Tier 7 Japanese heavy cruiser, the Maya. And Saturday we did upgrade commander build video. Today you're going to see Maya at play. Now I'm going to feature the mistakes I make and talk about where I see the ship is strong in, and also where I see the ship is weak in. Now, we don't take defensive AA, but Wargaming does give you fighter planes, and I ended up being stingy here and not utilizing my fighter planes early on, because the Lexington is effectively going to have her way with us, and not only getting one strike off, but managing to get two strikes off, because remember, when rocket planes go in for their attack run, they become invulnerable, because wargaming logic, as it were. So don't be fearful to utilize those fighter planes at the start of the match. I mean, effectively, typically CVs will either go for the destroyers or the cruisers, and you get 4 of these all said and done with our build, which I'm going to put on the top left here. So I talked about potentially switching some things around with the build, and ultimately I did decide to. You're going to see it reflected in this second clip I'm going to feature. We're going to have some cuts and snippets here, where I do go with gun feeder and demolition expert. So I dropped the last stand in the priority target. Here you're going to see last stand priority target in effect. I just realized I didn't really need it with how I play the game and just being mindful of battleship positioning, as it were. Where I recognize the need to get more damage out is kind of where Maya ends up having a handicap to an extent, so we'll kind of get into that. Here I want to show you that Maya has 8 203s. With these being 203s, you can have the ability to lob shells over islands. Now you are definitely going to struggle with Maya in landing salvos that are, I would say, if you're trying to fire on a target that's moving, let's say 13 plus kilometers out, that's moving at full speed, especially something like a cruiser or maybe something like a Scharnhorst 43 with the engine boost, you're going to have issues landing shots and shells. So we're going to see a little bit more of that later on as I highlight it as part of the frustrations, where I end up seeing Maya more strongly. Here I want to give you an example of how the torpedoes work. So you get 16 torpedoes all said and done. So you have a forward launching set, and then you have this more rear launching set. So if you end up running on a target, you're going to want to make sure to get the save your forward launching set for that type of run if you're going to YOLO an enemy battleship or cruiser, let's say, and then save that second set for last, if need be, kind of last scenario. Here we're going to switch to armor piercing. And I'm going to utilize the main battery reload booster that Maya gets. So it's going to bring that 16.5 second reload time down to a more reasonable 8.25 second reload time. And you'll take adrenaline rush into account, take top grade gunner account here as well. Effectively, anything you can do to get the reload time down on Maya should be encouraged with the commander build here. And I'm going to switch back to the high explosive, because these 203s will end up pinning, and make sure I say it correctly here, that you do pin 34mm, which you see a lot of 32mm at 7, 8, 9, and then some more, depending on, hopefully not being so much bottom tiered and seeing 9s, which unfortunately happened over the course of several games I had yesterday, and I've been playing with several of my clanmates, so that was a bit of a bummer. Maya is, how would I phrase this? She's, to me, effectively, this is kind of my whole synopsis wrapped up here, and we'll talk about more things here. She plays best at the mid-range, like that 10 to 12 kilometer window. You want to give yourself a little distance from the secondary battleships, but you need to keep them kind of close enough where you can effectively land your shots. When you have this 16.5 second stock reload time, it really hurts when you're missing your shots. I mean, effectively, think about it here. You're only getting about 4 salvos off. Actually, you're only getting a full 4 salvos off in a minute. So when only 2 or 1 of your shells hits, like here you have 2 pins, 4 non-pins, right? Because you might hit a turret or things like that. You just end up not dishing out lots of damage with the Maya in this kind of kiting, farming with the high explosive. You're really hoping to set fires, which is why I'd advise building into the Demolition Expert. Rather, where you feel like perhaps the ship can kind of become frustrating, or where actually not, well, it can be a little frustrating if you feel like you're wanting to deal lots of damage, you know, then you may be looking at, someone commented and I agreed, or haven't commented yet, I think Southern or Eastern Dragon, because you get, I think, whichever, Western Dragon, whatever, you get 10 guns, 10 203s that have an even faster reload time than what you have here on Maya. So what they did with Maya is that they basically just gave you a bunch of consumables you see lined across the bottom of the screen, and torpedoes that not 10 kilometers but 8 kilometers but hit for much, much harder. So I have preferred Maya in ranked over randoms. Now I haven't played her in ranked recently, but I remember playing her in ranked in the past, because she kind of exceeds when there's less ships on the board, and you can play more tactile with pushing in with your 5-kilometer hydro, your 8-kilometer torpedoes that do 29,000 damage, your main battery reload booster, and heals in that. So kind of a little bit of an Indianapolis syndrome going on here again. Now here I don't have gun feeder to switch to the armor piercing here, so I'm like letting my high explosive load, and I should have already just hit the main battery reload booster and then switching to armor piercing and then switching or hitting the main battery reload booster. And this CV causes me so much damage and grief this game. He's like a 73% run rate, I think, when I checked his stats after the game with Enterprise. So he ends up crapping on us, and I think we lost like 30,000 hit points, or some, maybe it was more to him alone. So with him focusing on us, it definitely puts a lot of tension on us, and I think Doom is in Gambia behind me, and he's just going to be up in the smoke, as he should be. That's Gambia's party trick there. So it works well for him, but with the CV just striking us, this isn't great for us in this moment. But back to what I was saying, where the tactile, which you're going to see me shift in a little bit into in the second battle, I'm going to highlight a little bit more this focus of like, okay, what is more the strengths? Like, to me, it's catching cruisers, and particularly out broadside with your 8 203s and the main battery reload booster, and being able to get more in range with your torps. Which, you know, we did have a battleship eat a torp here early on, which was great. But you kind of need to be looking for opportunities to get more strikes on cruisers or battleships that are going to be showing you broadside, because it's not really just the fires that you effectively wanting with Maya. I mean, you really want to have the ability to punish with the armor piercing. Now think about this. I looked at the random run rate performance of Maya, and she does pretty good overall. I think it was, I can double check here, I think it was 53% win rate in randoms. Yeah, 53.29%. And the average damage that players are getting with Maya is just under 40,000. If you manage 70,000 damage a game, you're effectively a Unicum player in Maya. Just to kind of highlight that, as it were. So, you know, having expectations to do lots of damage with Maya like you might have at tier 9, 10, definitely don't place those kinds of expectations on this ship. I was repeatedly scoring in the top 3 throughout I think the multiple battles I played with her yesterday. So that was good. So now I've switched up the build. This is where you're seeing gun feeder going to become at play, and not having last stand, and also having demolition expert to increase our fire chance, where we have like more of a 20% fire chance with the combat signals in the demolition expert. Now I get surprised here. The sub is actually, enemy sub is just over our friendly sub. So I'm going to end up bleeding some hit points here. I believed all the smoke that the kid and other ships were putting down here would help mask my cover here. And I'm like, do I turn out now? Do I turn out now? And then I'm like, yeah, I think I need to go and turn out now. Then I see that salvo there. Here you can see the depth charges at work. We eat a citadel there, I'm pretty sure. And now it's like the need to just turn out and kite becomes very important here at Atlanta with armor piercing. Brings us down a little bit more. So I've already coughed up half my hit points. So with Maya, you know, to have, I mean, she's like a lot of the mid-tier cruisers where effectively you don't want to spend so much of your hit points so early on. I mean, there was nothing devastating that we did there. So that was ended up being a little bit on us. But the destroyer and the sub being on the inside there means it's very easy to work this flank now, which is exactly what we're going to do here. So we are going to switch to focusing, trying to get out and around here and shooting ships on the other side. Help getting Kid here. Kid seems to be in a very bad situation, as it were, effectively here, even though Kid does get a heal. But I think collectively as a team, we're going to be able to bring the Kid down here. And then looking for opportunities to see that Lana here is going forward. And so immediately this is where the gun feeder comes into handy, because I'm like, well, wait, if Atlanta keeps pushing too far out here, and we can catch Atlanta with the armor piercing. So I'm using my torpedoes to track how Atlanta is moving. And we're going to get ready with the armor piercing. And we're also going to get ready to utilize the main battery reload booster. So you're looking for opportunities with Maya to punish the enemy team effectively. We're not going to shoot Deutschland. We want Atlanta. We've decided on Atlanta. And Atlanta just too far out here. Main battery reload booster. We can turn out a little bit. Yeah, a 20k salvo. And then we can polish off Atlanta. Turn out. And switch back to high explosive here in a moment as well. But right for the moment, we still have the Deutschland broadside. Now, this is where I end up getting quite frustrated with Maya here. Well, a little bit. So the Scharnhorst 43 is going to ignore the Fuso that's very close to him and focus me with his main battery. He's a bounty. I'm also a bounty. So I think he's just going for the bounty, but he ends up just harassing us. Like, he'll shoot me many times over other enemy ships that are closer, and I'm just going to say he's just going for the bounty, but it ends up being very frustrating. But what frustrates me a lot here with Maya as a whole is, if ideally as a cruiser going up against something like a Scharnhorst 43, playing outside the secondary battery range of a Scharnhorst 43, mind you, as Fuso takes a very long shot at us here, we should be able to, theoretically, as a cruiser, be able to out-trade the Scharnhorst with our reload time of our main battery guns versus Scharnhorst's reload time with their respective main battery guns. And I find that it ends up really not being true because of that 16.5 second reload time. Now here you're seeing just over a 15-second reload time with just adrenaline rush kicking in, not the full 16.5. But as I'm trying to land salvos here, it just doesn't work. So I decided to go dark, disengage. You're going to see more frustrations later with just trying to effectively try to trade. Again, we catch a cruiser out broadside. We repositioned ourselves looking for a tactical opportunity. And we found the opted whatever, 203 armor piercing loaded, a Citadel. I don't know how we got some ricochets mixed in with that, but okay, whatever. And another Citadel. So yeah, I was hoping a little bit more damage there. So just highlighting another strategic opportunity, and then we're going to flip into the next segment here, which I think ends up just kind of being where we ultimately will end up dying here. Then I'm going to show you the post-battle results. But we have a destroyer that's on the cap. I'm pushing in to try to see if I can't light him on the hydro as it comes up here. Having to avoid torpedoes. I know there's a salvo from Scharnhorst coming in. Trying to get turned, but we will eat a Citadel from Scharnhorst. So Scharnhorst is ignoring the flank, and he's just coming for us again. So again, a little bit of the frustration there. Not having last stand means I definitely have to use the damage control party there. Our Mogami has been working so hard on this flank. He killed a battleship already. I tried to help him with that a bit. And then this Nagato. I'm going to just throw some torps in case he decides to come back out. But apparently I should have just went ahead and thrown it on the other side of the island here. And I could decide to go dark here effectively. And I'm thinking about, I'm already dark because Nagato, there's an island between me and Nagato. But if the DD decides to step out, he'll just spot me. And I know Scharnhorst is just going to end up shooting me. So I decided, well, you know, it is what it is. I was hoping maybe we could pull the team off. Our Berdoni down on G1 is hanging on to life with like 200, 300 some hit points. So we're just going to go ahead and open up here because I'm just trying to think, is there a way to try to save the game? And not really. Us cruisers have just lost, you know, there's no hit points on the board for us to kind of fight, drag this out, we've lost them. So you see how me losing half my hit points at the start, you know, not taking any heals into account, ends up just being the death of us. And I decide, hey, I'm going to cut my throttle a little, or maybe your salvos will go a little bit over. But Maya is a little bit of a drifter, and he's not that far away, so he's going to get the kill there. So going into the post-battle results, it's going to be defeat with 91,000 damage. So we effectively, actually I think super unicum levels of damage for the Maya's performance. One destroyed some citadels, and so the citadels were very massive there and bumping our damage. Otherwise we would have been looking at, you know, maybe more like 60,000. So the AP was very effective there. Top of the team with 1,158 base XP. You can see the cruisers are definitely doing the work in this match, and our battleships and DDs were a little bit of a struggle bus. Unfortunately, as it were, enemy team was just better than us this time around. Flipping over into the detailed report, then you're going to see that we did, how much with our AP? 52,000 with armor piercing, 35,000 with high explosives. So the kind of the key sauce with Maya is finding opportunities to utilize the armor piercing. Otherwise, if you're only relying on her as a HE spammer, you know, no, and there's other cruisers at tier 7 that perform that HE spam role much better and have a much faster reload time. You can just punch out a lot more damage. So what Wargaming has effectively done with Maya is just try to make her this very tactical cruiser in the game, and you have to play her tactically accordingly. So she's not necessarily just a sit and farm kind of cruiser, kite out, but you're actively looking for opportunities to punish enemy cruisers, or, you know, catch a destroyer out, something like that. So I hope this video has been helpful in kind of explaining Maya. I might not next week, but I'll probably soon look at, I just got the Eastern, Southern, Western, whatever dragon ship it is, because that one kind of intrigues me. Faster reload time, 10 203s versus these 8 203s. And slightly longer torpedoes, but not as much damage. So we're going to check that out. So if you liked today's video, thumbs up. If you didn't, get thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks. I really appreciate it. Thank you to those who support the channel and keep this going. Until next time, take care.